Missing someone, missing someone.
On this question, I will complete one of the two. Astaghfirullah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And if you have watched my previous video, the storytelling one, I guess you might already knew me, but if you don't, it's okay. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Fadhilah Azzahra Hadi with student number 067, and I'm from class 4C on Department of English Education in UIN Fadhilah, Jakarta. And on this occasion, I will complete one of the 3 videos that must be posted on my YouTube channel, and this is the second one to fulfill my extensive reading assignment. So now, I would like to review one of the textbooks that I have read in this semester. And among the several kinds of textbook that I have read, like references, instruction book, workbook, and biography, I chose biography for this video, since I believe that I am capable enough for this genre and I really like the figure in this biography. Alright, the title of the biography that I choose is Princess Diana by the author Joanne Mattern, that published by DK Biography in 2006, and it contains 129 pages with 12 chapters. This is the cover of the book. As usual, what do you think? And for me, I think it is quite simple because it only contains a photo of beautiful Princess Diana on a white background, and as you can see on the top, of which are photos of her important life journey, as well as the title of the book and the author's name. Well, first of all, I really enjoy to read this book because honestly, I want to sharing a little bit that I am a big fan of Princess Diana, even though I wasn't born yet during the era of Princess Diana. And I started to like her after I watched Netflix series with the title The Crown Season 4 that mostly shows the story between Prince Charles and Princess Diana. And I don't know why, as I watched that series, I really like the character of Princess Diana, that very beautiful and pure, not fake. Okay, now we have to get back to the textbook. I will tell you guys first about the author, Joanne Mattern.
And this is about the author, Joanne Mattern. This is the picture of her. And she's the author of many books for children and teens. And she loves writing about sports, animals, and interesting people, like Princess Diana. And she lives in New York State with her family. And she enjoys writing nonfiction because she gets to learn lots of interesting new things and hope to excite readers about all the wonderful and amazing things going on in this world. And this is some of lists of her books, The Magic of Movies, etc. And so let's jump to the contents of this textbook. As I said before, this book consists of 12 chapters, and the first chapter is about growing up. In this first chapter, the author tells us about Diana's childhood until she met Charles. It also explains how Diana was raised, like who were her parents. It also tells about her family origins, where was she raised, and how was her childhood, including the reason why she has so many painful memories of the divorce. And it also tells us about what was her life before marrying Charles and why did she get married to Charles, like when they met or something else. Most of the contents of this chapter are about the Spencer, because she's growing up in the Spencer family, and most of all about Diana's relationship with her mother and father and her siblings. Next, the second chapter title is A Popular Teacher. This chapter begins with the story of her moving to London to be herself and living in a flat with 3 other friends and becoming a teacher and nanny at a young English kindergarten. And most of this chapter explains that she became popular among the teachers at the school because of her excellent works, and she worked well with the children, and the high-class women who had classes later worked at low-paying jobs, and how the transition when she began to be known as the woman Charles would marry, as well as becoming a photographer darling, because she was young, beautiful, and charming. Its title is The Royal Wedding, As the title in this chapter, the author retells the beginning of why Princess Diana was known to the world as a princess. And it was on July 29th, 1981, and it's when 4 days joyful, excited crowds that have been gathering along the streets of London. But not only from London, it also comes from around the world. But the special things of this chapter, the author also tells a little story behind the process of Diana's training into the royal family, Diana's feeling that day, and her feelings when she was about to become part of the royal family, and also the tragedy when she was jealous of. The next chapters is about an heir to the throne. It tells about Diana's life after life as a princess and got shocked with her busy schedule as a royal family, even during her pregnancy. And most of this chapter is about the birth of William as the heir of the throne and the differences in Diana's upbringing compared to mothers in previous royal family. The next chapter title is Royal Troubles. This chapter tells the story of the birth of Prince Harry, the second son of Diana and Charles, which is predicted to be the beginning of the rift in Diana's household, and which is being smelled by the public. And different from William, that the birth of him is become a joyful, Harry on the other side become the trouble. And the next chapter is about the public Diana. This chapter tells us about Diana's image in front of the public, in addition to the problems of her relationship with Charles and the royal family. Diana was known as someone who was generous and often helped the less fortunate. The most famous is when Diana cuddled baby with AIDS during a visit to hospital. And the next is the separation. This chapter finally reveals the end of Charles and Diana's toxic relationship. Charles, on the other hand, suffered from a terrible public image, unlike Diana, who is adored by all the people around the world, because most people thought he was more interested in playing polo than holding hands with hospital patients. And after that unofficial separation, this comes a new image of Diana. Diana feels very free and happy to live outside the rules of the royal family, even though she rarely sees her children who attend boarding school. She remains a favorite of journalists and people's princess even more. And because of her appearance, has become more attractive and she continues to carry out positive activities. Here we come, the next chapter about difficult days. This chapter is mostly about how Diana suffers in the midst of her unfinished problem with Charles and the paparazzi who seem to be chasing her. The paparazzi become very aggressive. They did anything to get a photo of Diana. And Charles and Diana also attack each other in public until finally on August 28, 1996, they asked them to immediately take care of their official divorce, although the Queen Elizabeth initially opposed the idea of divorce, but that's what's best for them. After that official divorce, it comes for the chapter New Beginnings. She joined the International Red Cross, one of the world's largest humanitarian and relief organizations, had recently become involved in the effort to clear landmines around the world, but was encountering difficulties from governments that did not support the effort. Diana also began trying to reconcile with Charles. They do it for the sake of their two sons and try to forget their dark past. And Diana, along the way, also finds her true love, Emmett, better known as Dodie. They are often seen on vacation and spending time together, even with William and Harry. We come on the chapter which is very sad. It is the Diana's last day, and it happened on July 22. Diana traveled to Milan, Italy, and after that, Diana returned from Milan. Then Dodie invited her to Paris for a romantic weekend, and whereas the next day, Diana was planning to go back to London and wanted to spend time with the boys before they went back to school. But what power this tragedy happened? The car she was traveling in crashed in the Paris tunnel, and sadly at the last moment, the paparazzi still took photos of her instead of helping her, or just calling an ambulance. And the next day, August 31, 1997, at 4 a.m., Diana was declared dead. The last chapter of this book is The World Mourns. It was Princess Diana's sudden death was one of the deaths that made all the people around the world mourn for a very long time and beyond what we can imagine. And maybe we have often seen people like spilling over to accompany Princess Diana's funeral. Even today, Princess Diana's death is still commemorated, but Princess Diana's spirit never died. because her two sons continue it and she will always be the queen of people's heart. I think this book is very good, but what I don't like about this book is that it's full of stuff I've already heard or read about Princess Diana. It's basically a rehash of old news, and if people who already know a lot about Princess Diana, like me, read this, they must already know a lot about what is discussed in this book. And in my opinion, this book is suitable for people who previously did not know anything about the Princess Diana and want to know an outline of Princess Diana's life. This book is also suitable for introducing children to the figure of Princess Diana, who is one of the legends in the history of the British Empire. Moreover, I think it's suitable for everyone and can be read for all ages because this book uses language that is quite simple and easy to understand. Last, I want to share with you guys what I can learn after I read this book. The first thing is that even royal family members have their own problems, and the second, I gotta know that even we have a lot of money, it doesn't guarantee that we will have a lot of love and a lot of happiness, just like what happened to Princess Diana. And I think that's all about Princess Diana Biography by Joanne Mattern. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.